Okay, Brad, so you had a lot of action last Saturday at Oakland Park with the Kentucky Derby in mind, and now you got a lot of action this Saturday at Keeneland and Aqueduct. Let's start with your Bluegrass horse, Verifying.
Nice colt. He ran decent last time in the Rebel. He come out of it in good shape. We had him down at the fairgrounds. We just shipped him over to Keeneland middle of last week, and he breezed really, really well. Friday morning, we beat the rain. First thing Friday morning, really good move with Hit Show. It's running in the wood. They breezed together, and I was very happy with the way they worked and come out of it and see what happens.
What do you make of his last race in the Rebel, I think when he was fourth?
Yeah, I don't really know. He was in great position, and he kind of, just kind of lost his position. He went from laying third, fourth to being like eighth or ninth between the, around the 8th pole, 16th pole, and then kind of re-rallied and was coming on again. He's run 5-6 times. He still seems to be a little bit green, but he's getting better. So, I think, just experience. He's getting better with experience, and he'll need to step up on Saturday. I think he will, just based off the way he's training.
Yeah, how do handicappers evaluate him? He won first time out at Saratoga. That's not easy to do. Ran decent second in the Champagne to another horse you'll see, Blazing Sevens. Ran in the Breeders' Cup.
And then obviously his first start as a 3-year-old was really good around 2 turns there at Oaklawn, and then his Rebel was good, but it just wasn't the result we were looking for. So, no, I mean he's not going to be the favorite or anything, but he's a horse that I do think is very talented, that can step up and be effective in Grade 1s.
And does he get a new rider? Does he get Gaffley?
Yeah, Tyler's has the call. We enter tomorrow, so we'll hopefully get a good trip, get a good draw, and see what happens.
And then you also have 2 going in the Wood Memorial in Hit Show and Slip Mahoney.
Right, yeah, they're both doing well. I'm excited about getting Slip Mahoney around 2 turns, bred for it. I think, just based off how he's run, I think he'll handle it well. He's obviously got to get way better in the wood than he did in the Gotham to be a little bit more effective. And he ran a good race at the Gotham, just wasn't, just kind of compromised at the start. And Hit Show, a nice colt. He's already went up there and won a race this winter, so he's familiar with the track, the setting, the distance. I do think he's a horse that, does like a 1 1/8 and hopefully beyond. But he's trained really, really well. Very happy with how he's trained. He's shipped to Belmont just yesterday. He arrived this morning, and so far so good with that, and see what happens.
Now Hit Show won the Withers.
Yes.
And then you skipped the Gotham with him.
Yeah, we didn't want to cut him back to a mile. We think he's a true 2-turn horse, and we brought him to the fairgrounds, trained him. We wanted to have everything. We wanted to have him in a good climate where he, wouldn't miss any training, and we had the option of the Louisiana Derby, Arkansas Derby, and the Wood. We just kind of felt like the Wood was the right spot in regards to getting enough points to march forward to the Derby.
So if you were entering tomorrow for the Derby instead of the Bluegrass, and how many horses would you be entering?
Looks like 2 right now, Jace's Road and obviously Angel of Empire. But there's obviously we're involved in some 100-point races, so we'll see. Hopefully it works out. We have more than 2, but as of right now, we have 2.
What about Instant Coffee? I mean, what's the plan for him?
He's on the outside looking in right now. I think last night he was maybe 22nd, 23rd. We're going to breeze him this weekend here at Churchill. If all goes well, we'll keep marching forward. I mean, there's still a lot of good races out there. We could look at the Pat Day Mile, the Peter Pans the week after the Kentucky Derby, Preakness. So, he was a victim of no pace in his last race. He ran on, he finished up. He just didn't really, they wasn't backing up front. So it wasn't a bad race. It just wasn't the result we were looking for at all.
And of course, you won the big 3-year-old filly race at Oaklawn with wet paint, and you've got Punch Bowl 2 for 2. You entered today for Friday for the Ashland, and
yeah, she arrived this morning at Keeneland. So far so good with her. Her work this past weekend at Oaklawn was really good. She's a pretty solid workhorse. She's obviously a little light on seasoning, having only run twice, but she's done everything right in the afternoons. One race going short, one long, and she seems like she's got some talent, and she definitely has talent. Just hopefully we're not throwing too much at her too quick. It's always a little bit of a concern with the young filly, but overall happy with what she's accomplished so far, and looking for her to take a big step forward on Friday.
And final question: after the Arkansas Derby, you were talking about all the help that has helped you get here and how hard you've worked, and you know what it's like not to have these kinds of horses. It's still pretty spectacular that it's really only been when 2018 was your first grade one with Mahoney
Yeah.
Girl in the Ashland and stuff,
Yeah.
and you hadn't had a Derby starter, then you had two, and now I mean you're in all these prep races.
Yeah, well, once again, I mean, it comes back to just great clients sending us good horses and trying to develop them, and I feel like we kind of programs set up for these Kentucky Oaks, Kentucky Derby runs with these young 2-year-olds, 2-year-olds/3-year-olds, and it's a path that we like to try to at least put them on. And listen, most of them don't make it to the starting gate in the Oaks or the Derby. But yeah, so you have to have a good few horses, and there's still lots of nice races out there. But no, it's been a good run, and hopefully we can continue.
You also seem to be willing to say no to big races with certain horses.
Yeah, I mean,
You don't get caught up that saying you got to be in this race or
Right,
that race.
yeah,
But
yeah.
usually you have a horse that fits for that spot too.
Yeah, sometimes, not always. Most of the time we don't. But listen, we're willing to ship a horse. I mean, that's the one thing that I'll put a horse on a plane. It's worked out with this winter, like Hit Show going to the Withers. I mean, that was kind of we had to dodge some weather. We had plane delays. The horse obviously had to go to Belmont. We train at Belmont, New York, and then ship to Aqueduct. So we're willing to put horses on vans and planes and ship them throughout the country. And listen, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But overall, if a horse is doing well, training well, and physically looks the part, and they're happy mentally, they'll show up. I feel like they'll show up and run.
But you've gotten where you are the hard way. It wasn't like you started training and somebody sent you 20 horses.
No, yeah. I mean, it's someone asked me the other day, like, how did this all start? I was like, wow. It started back in
Which
barn.
time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it started back in barn like 33 there with just a couple horses that were running a turfway throughout the winter and stuff. But look, I don't really think about that a whole lot. I'm just trying to press forward and continue to have quality horses and big races and keep everything rolling.